You may be seated. Good morning.
This way, Mom.
Good morning. And welcome to the graduation ceremony for the 2025 class of Bard High School, Early College, Manhattan. Now, we had the AA ceremony on Friday, but let me tell you, I think the biggest applause in the house was for BHSEC-M, Manhattan. Graduates, 4.5 years ago, you were seated in this auditorium with your parents, similar to today, having just been accepted to BHSEC. And finally, you have successfully completed 2 years of high school, 2 years of college, and you are eligible to receive a high school diploma. Congratulations. This morning, I reviewed our register. We have currently registered 124 12th grade, what we call year 2 students. And there are 124 students in front of me this morning. Now, when you were assembled here 4 years ago as incoming freshmen, you were likely seated alongside your parents. But today, your parents are here as your audience. Your parents and the educators beside me are here to celebrate you as you walk across this stage to receive your high school diplomas. Graduates, give it up for your amazing, supportive, patient, and loving parents who are here today. You have also been supported and uplifted by the best teachers, counselors, and support staff, and I do not hesitate when I say it, the best teachers, counselors, support staff that our city has to offer. Let's give it up for our amazing staff and faculty. Now, these amazing educators are experts in their craft, they're scholars, many hold PhDs or other doctoral degrees, they're authors, and the list goes on and on. But most of all, these people beside me are dedicated public servants who have dedicated their careers to you, and they lead with dedication and love, and I know you have felt it over the past 4 years. So we're in the middle of a heat wave, so I'm gonna keep this quick, and then we're gonna get into lots of awards and the awarding of our diplomas. But first I want to talk a little bit to give some context to where we are in this moment in your life. The radical feminist poet Adrienne Rich once said to a group of students at Douglas College, "You cannot afford to think of being here to receive an education. You will do much better to think of being here to claim one." And I want to talk briefly about the difference between receive and claim. Receiving something is passive. It requires someone else to have something that they choose to give you. Receiving an education implies the student is an empty vessel to be filled by the teacher. But BHSEC students are not empty. Are you empty? Absolutely not. You have brought your knowledge and brilliance to our school and extended it in classrooms and in collaboration with your teachers. Now, to claim something is not passive. When you claim something, you decide to take it. You make it your own. Do not wait for someone else to give a gift or impart a blessing. No, you show up and you take what is there for you and you make it your own. Whether this has been your experience at BHSEC or not, when you move forward from this experience, I implore you to claim the education that is out there waiting for you. Insist that the learning is yours and that you will own the knowledge. Take it, even if it is not directly offered to you. Steal it if someone is trying to keep it from you, and that's the only stealing allowed. You must claim the education that lies before you, just as you will claim many, many other opportunities and experiences throughout your life. But now let's talk for a second about the schooling that is immediately ahead of you. Everyone, listen to this. I'm going to share with you a list. Some of the colleges and universities that our graduates will attend are, and I can't get through the whole list because there's dozens of amazing schools, but here's a snapshot. Bard College, of course. Thank you to our amazing partnership with Bard. NYU, Smith, St. John's, USC, Vassar, Williams, Howard, Cornell. The many, many great institutions of our SUNY system here in the state of New York: Albany, Binghamton, Buffalo, New Paltz, Plattsburgh, and Stony Brook, to name a few. And from my alma mater, the amazing CUNY system, the largest urban public university system in the country. Our students will attend Baruch, Brooklyn College, City College, the College of Staten Island, Hunter, John Jay, Lehman, City Tech, and York College. Give yourselves a hand. Give our students a hand. And graduates, when you get there, it will be your responsibility to claim every possible experience, tool, reading, skill, and challenge that is before you, and I know you will. It is up to you. Will you claim it? Come on, really? Will you claim it? Yes! Thank you, everyone. Up next, we are going to hear two faculty addresses from our two former assistant principals, Christina Canty and Kara Studwell. Then our student speaker, Jaylene Noel, will address us. All right, Jaylene. Following Jaylene's speech, Dr. Hendricks will lead us through the presentation of student awards. Who's going first, Canty or Studwell? Ms. Studwell.
Class of 2025. I'm so honored and happy to be here with you today. And for today's address, I wanted to take us back to 9th grade because I just miss being in a classroom with you all so much. So, beginnings are arbitrary. Who thinks they remember the author that said this back in 9th grade? Anybody? Dr. Freund shaking his head. On the first day of History of the Americas and back in 9th grade, Dr. Freund and I told you that beginnings are arbitrary. Well, really Ted Steinberg told you that, but that's besides the point. I'm here today, as we all depart BHSEC together, to tell you that not only are beginnings arbitrary, but endings are arbitrary as well. In the last 4 years, you've experienced many beginnings and many endings. Starting high school, ending high school, entering the college program, new friendships, fading ones, and now an end that leads to a new journey ahead. In my almost 10 years at BHSEC, I too have had many beginnings and many endings. Starting the Academic Resource Center, the COVID pandemic, presidential elections in 2016, 2020, and 2024, meeting new students and colleagues every year, and now an ending. With that ending comes my new opportunity to bring access to students with disabilities across New York City public schools. And today marks that duality for you as well. Now, again, I'm going to test you. and go back to 9th grade history of the Americas. And as much as you're not going to want to hear it, think back to clues, annotations. How many of you, just quick show of hands, and this better be, how many, Dr. Pio?
124.
124, I better see 124 hands. How many of you remember what the E in clues annotation stands for? I guess I should come back. Oh, one hand? Yeah, good, Madison, thank you. So, okay, spoiler alert, it stands for exploratory questions. We're going back to basics. Oh, right. So, in the spirit of inquiry, I pose one last exploratory question to all of you. I'm not going to make you make one, don't worry. To what extent is today's milestone an ending? Or is it really a beginning? Will the relationships and the knowledge that you've developed and built here stay here? Or will they carry you into that next stage? And just like any good exploratory question that we would pose in the classroom, these should not, and I think do not, have a single answer. As you celebrate this momentous milestone, I encourage you to think about those questions. Take time to reflect on and be grateful for all of the beginnings and endings in the last 4 years. Navigating them have helped you persevere and will allow you to strive for greatness, which you are all destined for in this next stage. Congratulations to the amazing class of 2025. It may not have been easy, but we did it. And here's to our new beginnings together. Thank you all for having me.
Welcome graduates, parents, families, staff, faculty, professors, administration, and guests. I would like to welcome you in light of this momentous occasion to celebrate the class of 2025. My name is Christina Canty, and I have had the distinct honor of serving as the interim principal of BHSEC Manhattan on more than one occasion over the past few years. I am delighted to be here with all of you today at this year's high school awards ceremony and convocation. Seeing all of you in caps and gowns fills my heart with an overwhelming sense of pride. These past 4 years have been creating memories and developing skills that will last a lifetime. From last week's prom with your friends, to showing off your artwork and inquiry projects on symposium day, to cramming for finals right here in this very room. From the countless books that you read, which transformed your worldview, to the conversations you had in class that challenged you to grow. From the papers you crafted with skill, to the presentations on topics that inspired you. From the connections with the professors and your peers that you'll endure, to the moments where you proved to yourself that you could succeed when you applied effort. Each moment was a memory that you may draw upon in life to recall the power of connection, the power of cooperation, the power of kindness, the power of hard work, the power of grit. Cherishing these connections and lessons you have developed here over the last 4 years will allow you to navigate through life, no matter how many heat waves you come across along your journey. Just a few years ago, you walked into your very first writing and thinking classroom with curiosity, uncertainty, and the same enthusiasm that marks every new chapter in life. I remember watching you build relationships, make decisions, fail, succeed, and most importantly, learn and grow, sometimes in ways you didn't even expect. The lessons you have learned here are not solely for your own benefit. Your gifts are meant to be shared with others. I hope you will always remember to advocate for yourself and others when you see an injustice in the world. If there are issues within your community, do not complain, sit around, and be silent. During these times, I want you to let your talent shine. Stand up, step up, and do something about it. Focus on social issues, learn as much as you can about the world. Find resolutions to problems, volunteer to care for and support those in need. Lend a hand to someone who needs it. Listen to those who need to speak. Speak for those in society who have been silenced and need a voice. Inspire those who you come in contact with. Empower those who you study and work with. Turn towards problems we as a humanity and society face. Develop innovative solutions to issues, work towards justice for all. Stand up for what you believe in is right. Lead with humility, listen to understand others, and seek out ways in which you may be of benefit to your families, society, and others. In short, be the most powerful version of yourself you can be. The power to transform the world in a positive way is within your reach, and you are not just ready to face the world, you are ready to take it on. Congratulations, my babies of 2020.
Jaylene. Up next is Jaylene. There she is.
Good morning, everyone, faculty, families, friends, and my fellow graduates. BARD is a place that fosters true learning through real life. My experience here has been surreal, something that can't be replaced or changed. Surrounded by so many, yet often in solitude, not loneliness, but grappling with the world's worth of knowledge at my fingertips. BHSEC Manhattan, from grabbing a breakfast at Heaven's Hot Bagels or Clinton Street Bakery to trips for Korean corn dogs on Ludlow Street, exploring the Lower East Side and 14th Street, running for a seat on the packed M14D and M21 buses, Soho days with friends, and walks to Avenue D for Dominican food, pizza, or deli snacks. These moments made the BHSEC experience so rich, funny, frustrating, but exciting. I've always hated it when adults say, "Welcome to the real world," or "This is adult life." Because although responsibilities change, we BHSEC students understand real life better than anyone. One day, when professors called us adults and treated us like them, I realized adulthood is not about age, but mindset. BHSEC has nurtured that mindset in us. I once saw an Instagram reel telling parents not to mistake teens' attitudes for rudeness after school, because dealing with 7 bosses all demanding different things all day is no joke. I couldn't agree more. Well, let me put it in context. BHSEC is real life. We are packed with knowledge, opinions, and demands all day. Then we step outside and see a world full of even more to absorb. Even through stress and exhaustion, I carry a piece of what I learn each day close to my heart. Even if it doesn't hit immediately, I know one day it will. I feel I've been plugged into a matrix, where amazing knowledge and skills integrate into my brain, becoming part of me, while also gaining the clarity of being freed from that matrix, seeing the world anew. This is how I want to live. As BHSEC graduates, we don't just get a diploma and a degree, though we earn that too. More importantly, we gain a breaking from double consciousness, a unified self that understands life beyond the child and adult divide. But the veil is just lifted. We still have a long aisle to walk every day because learning never ends. Though our paths differ, we walk united, navigating the same maze. We now live our truths, not only because we are knowledgeable enough, but because BHSEC has trained our minds to free ourselves from being slaves to others' narratives and becoming masters of our own. That power is immense and endless, and we've only just begun. That power belongs not just to us, but to the community and people who shaped our experience. The student activities room was my home away from home, a place to recharge, be myself, and receive wisdom from Jasmine and Ethan, who always made time to listen. I remember Miss Turritz keeping us in line when we got loud, and Miss Canty's warm smile brightening even the hardest mornings. Jose's jokes and every professor who greeted me, especially Dr. Mbola, reminded me that we are more than just students. Creative classes like painting, music, and theater gave us a voice beyond grades. All of it, the laughter, discipline, support, and freedom was education. Becoming who we are. Still, the journey wasn't easy. I gave my all, even through burnout. The hardest class for me was Chinese, the toughest language BHSEC offers. But Miss Fu showed endless patience, sharing culture beyond the textbook, gifting Jasmine tea and delicious sesame candy. Always greeting me with a smile and ni hao, 谢谢傅老师，我爱一晨，你教我的东西。Thank you, Professor Fu. I love everything you taught me. Managing language classes while keeping up with heavy coursework was a challenge, but language taught us perseverance and resilience. After attempts that felt like failures, I learned to rebuild myself. Nothing is truly failure. Failure is only a mindset. If I call an experience a failure, it becomes a burden. At BHSEC, we lift these burdens like weights, building strength through resistance. The saying about academic comebacks should be crushed after our experience here. Every day we show up to school is a victory. My dad says 90% of the battle is showing up, because most don't. But we did. We showed up for ourselves. We worked beyond hard to reach this moment. We are blossoming adults just beginning a new season. We fought through winter, blossomed in spring as refined flowers with new characteristics, experienced immense photosynthesis to harness all the ultraviolet rays of knowledge, and now shine into summer to create blazing futures. Whether you feel successful or not, we are. That's the hardest lesson I've learned as a perfectionist attending BHSEC. But my journey didn't start in September 2022 like some. It began earlier in July with many of my peers when we joined the Summer Scholars Program as a Smart Scholar. That was the prologue. I knew I had work ahead, but also fun to be had. I'll never forget my defining moment, rapping on stage in front of teens I barely knew. From Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn to Lower East Side, I brought my swag to the BHSEC stage. Even when nervous and tripping up on a lyric, new friends cheered me on, and that energy never left throughout these 4 years. We celebrate each other's wins and support each other through struggles. Like any teen community, we have our ways, but we've learned to put petty things aside and come together when it matters. BHSEC makes it hard to feel alone. As an only child who thrives in isolation, I've always had shoulders to lean on, people to cry on, and friends to push me. As an Afro-Caribbean student, I found community through BSA in 9th grade. It grounded me, reminding me I wasn't just getting through BARD, I belonged. Even after I stopped attending, that connection remained. From classrooms to clubs, there is always a community of every race, culture, and background to connect with, and that's what makes BHSEC special. From rapping through Summer Scholars into freshman year, to writing beautifully crafted prose and countless essays, boy does BHSEC make you write. I'm surprised my fingers haven't fallen off yet, probably from all the metacarpal bone training. That's why manicures matter. Gotta keep the exoskeleton sharp for all those focused free writes. Which brings me to my most valuable lesson. Focused free writing is the only cure for writer's block. Funny how the way out of not knowing what to write is to simply write, right? Very ironic, I know. Without the countless free writes since my first writing and thinking workshops, I wouldn't have learned this tool. For an overanalyzer and deep thinker like me, this was life-changing. BHSEC taught me that writing is a road into the unknown. You dive in, grab the risk, and say, I got this. Enter the deep end of the pool and see how quickly buoyancy allows you to float up and become the Michael Phelps of swimming. Like Dory said, just keep swimming. The Michael Phelps of writing, by the way, sorry guys. But BHSEC didn't just shape my social self and how I just transcribe things on paper. It transformed how I think. Seminar, the heartbeat of Bard, demands deep thought and big questions. You're not handed text and told what to think. You engage, push, and challenge. You listen, not passively, and speak, not just to hear your voice. Seminar makes you ask not just what does this mean, but what does it mean for me, for us, for society, for now. Those texts don't stay in class. They follow you, settle in your bones, and tap your shoulder unexpectedly. They become the questions you ask when you look inside and out. Seminar taught me writing and thinking aren't about answers, but about showing up to questions, grappling with uncertainty, peeling back layers, and finding new ways to see the world. The questions about hierarchy and inequality hit home. Being a Black Afro-Caribbean woman, I don't just read about systems of power, I live them. I see how they operate in classrooms, communities, and countries. Seminar gave me the language and framework to connect the personal with the political. Reading Darwin, Marx, and Engels shook me. I saw how some ideas about biology, race, and class were twisted to justify inequality. Systems that seemed natural were constructed. Progress wasn't for everyone. Survival of the fittest meant systems built to benefit the few at the expense of many. BHSEC created discipline, the ability to stay open-minded even when uncomfortable, tired, or distracted. I admit, I never liked reading much, and sometimes still don't, but BHSEC taught me to read regardless, not just to do well, but to dive in and find meaning. Some texts feel too viscous to absorb, and somehow when we sit with them and all their components, we grow the strength to break down their chemical properties and truly oxidize them so we can respirate through comprehension. It is then that these texts become soluble, because my time at BHSEC Manhattan has taught me the resilience and discipline necessary to deep read texts and learn authors so they become more meaningful than just a class assignment. It becomes beyond just food for thought, but through digestion, it becomes fuel that lasts a lifetime. Those texts, those classes, those discussions, they gave me a mirror, they gave me a window, they gave me a compass. Now I walk through the world with new questions. How do we dismantle these systems? How do we move from competition to collaboration? How do we redefine success to not rising above others, but rising with them? What does true progress look like when everyone is seen, heard, and valued? These aren't easy questions, but BHSEC taught me to ask them, to keep swimming through the unknown, to trust in the struggle that I'll find something real. So to all my fellow BHSEC warriors and friends, we did it. We didn't just survive, we learned through real life. We didn't just memorize, we internalized. We didn't just grow, we blossomed. Thank you, BHSEC. I'll carry this knowledge and version of myself forever. Congratulations to the class of 2025.
Wow, this is like my dream dean's hour. Other than the temperature and the cast on my foot. It's so nice to be here with you. It's so nice to see people I haven't seen in a long time. Hello, Ethan, back there. Good to see you. And AP Canty and AP Studwell, so nice to see you as well. And all of you parents I've seen often in Zoom, but rarely in person. It's great to be gathered here. It's not Dean's Hour though today. It is your graduation day, and we're about to announce your prizes. And as always, we have a problem. We have a lot of prizes, and we have a lot more of you who deserve them than we can name. Let then each prize stand in for the nominees we fought over, advocated for, and just couldn't name aloud. And now for the names that emerged from that rousing rubble of our rhetorical debates. Starting with a little morning music from Professor Zimbelman, who will present the Music Award.
Good morning, everybody. It is a distinct pleasure to sit up here and to look at all these faces, and I hope that people can just live in the moment, the families living in the moment of celebrating this and all that you've done for it. It's a wonderful thing. And the graduates too, you should be very proud of yourselves. It's such a treat for me, and I think I speak for everybody up here saying that. It's just such a wonderful thing. As Dean Hendricks said, it's nearly impossible to pick any one person for this. So yes, it's a difficult process, but I have no question about whether or not this student is deserving, and just a wonderful individual. Modest and very tentative at the beginning. I think going all the way back to 9th grade, very tentative, very sort of modest and quiet. But what I could see was the sort of discovery unfolding in real time. I could see her just sort of right on the sort of at the cusp, and everything was opening up, and it was a sense of that I got from seeing her do this, that it wasn't just like, oh, I like this, or even that I love this, but like that this is who I am, and that was really a nice thing to see. And as Dean Hendricks once told me, he said, interest is the best teacher. I think it's true, and so I think that was part of what guided this person. So there was the music part, the playing music part, but then she also showed a real interest in the sort of history, the context, the scholarly aspect of things, the social component of it all. And in the music and context class, she did a great job in that class, and then she also submitted a full-blown 8-page analysis of the feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Unsolicited, she just produced this thing, and it was incredible. It was even just sort of bullet pointed, and it was still 8 pages long. So she had incredible level of detail and analysis. And then this year, especially even just this last semester, she really showed her stripes in terms of just working at something. She would come to the music room all the time on her free periods, and she really just worked, and it was great to see this sort of single-minded determination and a dedication to understanding it, getting it right, being able to execute it, and just patience, and it was wonderful. So I have no doubt that she'll make musical waves wherever she goes, but I think this level of commitment and the ability to focus single-mindedly like that will serve her well no matter what she's doing, no matter what life throws at her. So it's my distinct pleasure to give the music award to Mia Torres. Wonderful student, wonderful person. Come on up here, Mia.
It's one of those days. So we're still with the arts, and now we're moving on to the fine arts with Professor Krause, who will give the Visual Arts Award.
Wow. Okay, my first year here at BHSEC, you guys did an amazing job as artists, creatives, painters. Yes, and for those of you I never got the chance to see, I got to see your creative work in so many ways throughout the halls and on the campus. I'm so lucky, but you set the bar really high for the next few years. With that said, I would just like to say that upon the judgment and recommendation of the arts faculty and the following graduating student that I'm about to present is recognized for her outstanding academic achievements in this visual arts category. The student has invested in and outside of the classroom, creating the foundation to her unique art practice. Her art practice that intersects with her interests in illustration, storytelling, as well as her unique critical inquiries. Always helpful and ambitious and studious, I am so honored to present Edva Mendez. To see where you go and how you take your creative practice throughout. I know you're studying a lot of things, but how you apply your art practice in your future academic career and beyond. So congratulations.
Okay, we're only going up. The next award is for Spanish and will be presented by Professor Guerra.
Congratulations, everyone. This is such an exciting morning. So for us, it's a pleasure to present this award. When there's dedication and then there's dedication, you know that. And this student was someone who was genuinely curious, and there was so much willingness to step in the unfamiliar. Like, I never thought of this person as being good at, reggaeton performance, but she did. So she wrote about the Civil War in El Salvador, how it contributed to gang violence. She wrote about corrido tumbado. She talked about Ivy Queen and reggaetonera women out there who are creating reggaeton and reclaiming the genre. And she also performed, and this was pushing herself out of her comfort zone. So this kind of enthusiasm is almost made me feel irrelevant, and that's a good thing, because that's what we want in the end, for the students to become producers of knowledge and to see the power of their own footprint. So we're proud to celebrate Georgia Mabott. She was sick, but she's one of you in spirit. I'm glad to hear the support and celebration for your peer. So with that, I'm going to pass on the microphone to Dean Hendricks.
Okay, we're now going to move on to Latin American Studies. And before I have Professor Novak present the award, I wanted to note really a significant accomplishment of a number of you graduating students. If students took 3 or more classes in Latin American Studies, in classes like Borges and Modern Latin American Fiction, Latin America the Movies, Music and Social Change, Gender and Sexuality, they received, or rather earned, a Latin American Studies certificate. Those students are Kayleen Flores, Jada Crockwell, Natalie Ogondo, Hannah Tavares, Georgia Mabott, Luis Cedeño, Isabella Montes de Oco, Tiffany Nieto Poblano, and Salvador Gonzalez Monterrey. Please stand for a moment so that you can be acknowledged. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you. And now I'll pass the mic to Professor Novak to present the Latin American Studies Award. In just a minute. It is really crowded here.
That's better. Congratulations to everybody who earned a Latin American Studies certificate. We're going to also honor one student especially who kind of stood out to me in the classes that I've taught her. So, buenos dias. This year's winner of the Spanish Department's Latin American Studies Award excelled in Spanish language study as well as in advanced electives in Latin American studies. In my elective sequence on Latin American film, she showed a proclivity for historical thinking, impressing me with her insightful analyses of the films we watched. In both class discussions and written work, she showed a keen appreciation of recurring themes in Latin American history. Her enthusiasm and engagement in class discussions and her ability to work well with others created a strong and cohesive class dynamic, and it was a joy to be her teacher. Her positive presence, engagement with the material, willingness to share, and high level of preparation all contribute to the Spanish Department's decision to present her with this award. Te felicito y te deseo todo lo mejor en tu carrera. Please join me in congratulating Belinda Flores Ponce.
Okay, we're leaving Latin America behind and heading over to China for the Mandarin Award presented by Professor Fu.
各位来宾、女士们、先生们、同学们，恭喜你们毕业了！ It is a great pleasure to present the 2025 Chinese Excellence Award. Dear class of 2025, I'm proud to announce that you set 2 new records in BHSEC Chinese program. Number 1, this is the largest class we have ever had. 20 students successfully completed 4-year Chinese language program. Your beautiful Chinese essays posted on the Chinese bulletin board inspired freshman students tremendously. Number 2, you are a super talented group of young people. I see rising stars in the future. I see ping pong players, soccer players, frisbee players, volleyball players, step-team dancers, rappers, Asian American and Pacific Islanders youth leaders, African studies scholars, classical dancers, scientists, artists, you name it. Your high school memories are not only of homework, quizzes, exams, but so many other skills you have learned. You will take all of these experiences out of this small building to connect with the people in a big world. I wish everyone could get an award, but we have to make a difficult selection. Only one student will receive this year's award. This student has demonstrated high academic expectations for herself. Her performance has been consistently outstanding. She is also a great tutor at the Learning Center and a strong athlete in the field. The 2025 Chinese Excellence Award goes to Una Roseberg. Congratulations.
Okay, next we will have the Mathematics Award, which will also involve, I think, computer science, and in typical fashion, one award will go to 2 people because it's the math department.
That is 2 awards. At BHSEC Manhattan, which is the original BHSEC, we have our Computer Science and Mathematics Department combined. So I'll be giving a Computer Science Award. Because he had to wait to be the very last one on Friday to walk across the stage, I want Julian Zimmerman to come up right now. I will be sharing with you what we can all learn from Julian. Right? Dr. Pugh talked about the importance of laying claim to knowledge. Julian not only laid claim to calculus, statistics, computer science, but he pushed and said, I also want to take an independent study in computer science too, and did that with Professor Delgado. Jaylene taught us about the importance of showing up. 90% of the job is showing up. And as you all know, in spring year 2, showing up at 9 a.m. first period on time every single day is not an easy job. Julian was waiting outside the classroom each morning for my class. And finally, Jaylene also taught us about the importance of not rising above, but rising together. And Julian's worked as a peer tutor and an advisory in the classroom, helping every other student. And it's my privilege to give Julian Zimmerman the Computer Science Award. Now I will pass it to my colleague at Christ for the mathematics.
Good morning. So it is my honor and privilege to give the Mathematics Award to a person who, since I first taught them in 9th grade, was that student whose test I would grade first so that I would grade the rest of the test correctly, because I always make mistakes. And they never do. This person also is going to college with their very close friend and great rival, who they also met in my class. It has been a joy to watch this person grow from a 9th grader to a year 2. I am proud and happy to present the Mathematics Award to Sophia Mark.
We're still printing that second award. Again, 2 for 1 in the math department. Social studies department, though, is up next, and Professor Maisie will present that award. Good morning, graduates. The word of the day is congratulations. I am honored to present this year's Social Studies Award to a student who has excelled in every class she has taken in our department and not in our department, but whose virtues extend well beyond earning top marks. I look back at the student's 4 years of narratives and found that both her 9th and 10th grade professors called her a student leader. Her Americas teacher wrote that she sets a tone and is a model for her peers. Her global studies teacher gushed that this student is a brilliant budding historian and that the ideas in her final essay were so sophisticated that they took my breath away. Her year 1 and year 2 professors noticed common themes. She engages the material with curiosity, dedication, and enthusiasm, one wrote. Several mentioned her remarkable memory and knack for finding connections among course readings and topics. One professor said she would often link the current topic of discussion to material covered many weeks prior. He also said she is a skilled writer and presented beautifully. Her seminar teacher says she is a powerful student who is insightful, inquisitive, and collaborative. And what do I say? I'm blown away by how all these observations apply to my experience with this student last fall in Reason and Politics. She reads and writes with enormous care. She has an endless supply of insights and questions, good informed questions. And she is a model citizen, leading while encouraging and building community, not just in the classroom, but on the trails as a captain of the cross-country team. On behalf of my wonderful colleagues, I'm delighted to announce that the 2025 Social Studies Award goes to the brilliant, the curious, the kind, the mensch, as several of my colleagues mentioned in the gown appointing room, Lucy Quigley. Next up, Professor Johnson will present the Literature Award.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I want to start by briefly describing some of the papers that this year's recipient of the Literature Department Award has written over the years. And I'd like to ask to see if you can discern a pattern of these papers. I think I've spotted one. Oh no, okay. Okay, so I want to mention several papers that this student has written over the years, and I'd like to ask you if you can discern a pattern of these papers, because I think I have. So, the first paper that she ever wrote for me at the start of 10th grade was about the illusory nature of the American dream, at least as depicted in an Adichie short story. The last paper she wrote for me in 10th grade was about the motif of the black sack. Some of you know what that is. The motif of the black sack in the death of Ivan Ilyich, which she treated as a metaphor for, quote, the dark and unhappy life that Ivan has been so absorbed in, end quote. A sack that Ivan must break through to find the higher truth of his life. A semester later, the student wrote on Natasha's connection to music in War and Peace, which for her was a potential means of transcendence beyond the false quotidian world, and even a possible conduit to the divine. In the following year, meaning this year, this student wrote her inquiry project on the illusion of freedom in contemporary society, wherein social and educational systems are used to contain and control us. So, what's in common across all of those papers as described? I would say, potentially, it is an instinct on the part of this student to contemplate false barriers in our lives and the means by which an individual can break through to a more meaningful life. But to my eyes, this student didn't just write about such topics. That wouldn't be enough, not for her. She embodied them. One of this student's 9th grade teachers told me that what first impressed him about the student was the way that she didn't let negative influences, social or otherwise, hold her back. In 10th grade, while many of her peers were still adjusting socially to the return from COVID lockdown, this student was already leaning in and embracing her own education as her own means of breaking through. For her, education clearly isn't what someone else tells you to do. It isn't a series of tasks imposed from on high. Education is discovery. Discovery of truth, discovery of self. Education is not simply a series of performances. It is the slow realization that we are all wrestling inside some kind of metaphorical black sack, and we must all figure out what breaking through means for ourselves. I feel that this student was always working tirelessly toward that very goal. And she always did it with a smile on her face. Maybe a lot of you already know who I'm talking about. It is my honor and pleasure to present this year's Literature Award to Jaylene Noel.
The program is only a guide, it's not a promise. We have some additions, and one of them is a prize we added this year in connection to a certificate we've given for a number of years in Africana Studies, study of Africa and African American culture in the United States. Before bringing Professor Mbola forward to give the award for Africana Studies, I want to acknowledge 4 students who earned certificates in this area. They've taken classes in a variety of topics, including such courses as radical reading, literature of the slave trade, and reacting to the past. The students earning a certificate, and please rise, are Kyle Moser-Anderson, Julian Zimmerman, Kelsey Bowen, and this last one deserves an extra set of applause because he's the first person to ever get both Latin American Studies and Africana Studies, Salvador Gonzalez Cantoral. Congratulations to all of you, especially Salvador, for setting this example for the rest of us. And now, Professor Mbola to present the award.
Good morning, scholars. Good morning. You all are amazing, and you should all be getting an award. I'm so very honored to have been a teacher to most of you over the past 4 years. I love all of you dearly. Godspeed. The Africana Studies Award celebrates exceptional academic achievement, groundbreaking research, and significant contributions to the field by students at BHSEC Manhattan. While all students who completed a minimum of 3 courses in this discipline deserve recognition, as they have rightly received just now, thank you, Dean Hinrichs, today we honor a student whose excellence in scholarship is matched only by an unwavering commitment to the vital work of decolonizing African history through the study of contemporary literature from the African diaspora. This year's recipient is a student who, I was recently surprised to learn, once held minor reservations about being assigned to my classroom after our first encounter in 9th grade writing and thinking. However, a profound shift must have occurred, as this student not only became one of the first scholars in our building to preview the language for what would become my Africana Studies elective series years before their official launch, but he also went on to enroll in and excel at every single one of those courses. This includes a course he was technically unable to register for due to other commitments, but which he audited purely for the intellectual joy of engaging with contemporary African literature and contributing to the crucial work of decolonization, a pursuit whose significance cannot be overstated in our current global landscape. Furthermore, this student, along with his closest friend, Julian Zimmerman, to whom I hereby extend an honorary mention, served as my research assistant during the summer of 2024. His work involved delving into the 17th century role and relationship of the Dutch to the land that would eventually become the land of my birth, Cameroon. This student's accomplishments are rendered all the more impressive by his intention to pursue a major in mathematics and physics at Cornell University. A path distinct from his strong foundation in the humanities, but the walking of which will surely be deeply enhanced by that foundation. It is therefore with immense pride, respect, and love that I present this year's Africana Studies Award to Kyle Moser Anderson.
For science, we have two presenters for this award, Professors Dorbeck and Gamper.
Another 2-for-1 deal. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations. And also I really want to shout out all of the female representation that we've had on stage today. You should all be super proud of yourselves, and from Jaylene's speech to all of the women who have come up on the stage today earning awards, it means a lot for us to see that today. So congratulations. Also, congrats to Kyle and Julia. Thank you. So we're going to keep on with that brand, and we're going to give the Science Award to a female student. So when we were thinking about the student that should receive this award, Ms. Gamper and I immediately knew that it had to be Lola Uhlinger. So for us, it was Lola's commitment, curiosity, and character that have always impressed us and inspired us, as well as the rest of our department. And we can't think of a more deserving student for this award today.
So, let me tell you a little bit about the award recipient today, Lola Uhlinger. When Lola first arrived in my 10th grade chemistry class, I was immediately struck by her disciplined work habits and enthusiasm for learning. She knew that being a BHSEC student was going to be challenging. She demonstrated every day she was prepared for and welcomed this challenge. This past year, Lola was a student in my Year 2 elective in infectious diseases. Again, she distinguished herself as a leader among her peers. She is by far one of the most competent and skilled science students I have taught here at BHSEC. Her contributions to this class were significant and helped to create a positive learning environment for all students in this course. Her final project on tetanus, yikes, was excellent in terms of accuracy and scientific content and presentation. It was creative, well-researched, and demonstrated mastery of the infectious disease concept we explored last semester. Back to you, Professor Dorman.
We choreographed this. So, Lola, our subjects have definitely challenged you. We're not going to minimize that. But we know that you always faced it with curiosity and love. You've always worked through this gracefully, despite the difficulties. Every interaction with you, every sentence you've wrote, every question you've asked has inspired us. It reminded me a lot of our early days as scientists, yeah. And it made me want to go back. But it's with great excitement that we know that this still exists and that we can foster this in our students. So thank you for that. I'm next. Whoops, not enough practice. But despite, on top of all of that is also your commitment to help others. We could always fall back on you to support the students in our class. You were a great tutor in Claw. So thank you for that.
So last summer, Lola participated in not one, but 2 internship programs. One at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and the Summer Science Research Program at Hospital. Lola and I discussed the work she did in both programs and how these experiences enabled her to develop more advanced laboratory and computational skills. Lola learned the important... Can you hear me? Yes?
Sign is falling. Look behind you.
Lola and I discussed the work she did in both programs and how these experiences enabled her to develop more advanced laboratory and computational skills. She learned the importance of collaborating with her peers when analyzing data and was able to gain a deeper understanding of the fundamental principles behind the research questions being investigated. Lola received a merit scholarship this year called Strive from Smith College for the next 4 years. She is guaranteed a research position for the first 2 years and will receive a stipend of $3,000 each year. All right, I'm going to try and get through this one. Lola, you are one of the finest young women I've ever had the pleasure of teaching. You've earned the respect of your classmates because you made a concerted effort to listen and encourage them to take responsibility for their own learning. You care deeply not just about your own performance, but how you can motivate others to realize their full potential. This speaks not only to your skill, but to your character. When I grow up, I want to be like you one day. Professor Dorbeck and I look forward to the day when we can call you Dr. Bullinger. It is a great pleasure and distinct honor to present the Departmental Award in Silence to Lola.
Okay, first of all, thank you to the faculty for fixing the banner mid-ceremony. That was impressive work. People wear many hats at BHSEC, and you saw it today. We are now moving from science to physical education, and Professor Arpaio will present the award.
Hi, everyone. Before I get started, I do want to recognize we had a sports awards dinner the other night, and we had 3 PSAL graduation award recipients. So they went to Alex, Oliver, and Issa. Our department decided to change it up this year a little bit, and we are now giving out a phys ed and athletics award. The recipient of this award was not only a model student in their PE classes all 4 years, but they were also an all-star athlete on their team all throughout their high school career. This student understands what it means to be a leader and a team player. They push through practices, class activities, and playoff games with clear dedication and discipline. Their hard work and commitment have been an inspiration to all of his peers and teammates. A few years ago, our department, Professor Krella specifically, started to give out the recipient of this award a piece of equipment that really sold their year, right? So I happen to have a golden baseball with me that I will just throw at. No, I'm just kidding. So on behalf of my department, I'm proud to honor Logan Masucci.
Okay, we now have our MVP of award giving, Jasmine Kuhn, who's giving the first of 3 awards. This one, Smart Scholars, Leadership, and Excellence.
Hi everybody. Hi grads. So for those who don't know me, I'm Jasmine. I'm the Smart Scholars Director. Jaylene wonderfully talked about Smart Scholars in her, yes, thank you, in her speech earlier. So just to kind of give people context, Smart Scholars is a program that supports students who come from backgrounds that are historically underrepresented within higher education, who are in the process of earning associates while they're earning high school diplomas. So I'm going to give a special shout out to all of my Smart Scholars. I have 66 in the audience right now out of 122. So this award is, this is the second time I'm giving this award. I've been here for 5 years. You guys are actually my first summer scholars, so very special class I have right in front of my eyes right now. But this award is called the Leadership and Academic Excellence Award. So a lot of you guys, my Smart Scholars, had the pleasure of working with me the summer before you began being BHSEC students. This student I actually met while they were still in 8th grade. I visited their middle school virtually because this was still COVID times. Their principal pulled me into a Zoom room and was like, there's a student who would be wonderful at your school. I was at a Smart Scholars middle school, so they would become a Smart Scholar in BHSEC. Met the student and immediately knew that the student needed to be at BHSEC and needed an opportunity to get in. Fortunately, the student made it through the admissions process and has been one of the most wonderful Smart Scholars that I've ever worked with, not only because of her dedication to the program itself, but the dedication to herself in growing and giving that back to our younger students. Academically, the student has really stayed focused, using your terms, really locked in the last 4 years, and really proved herself as a student who I knew even before she even applied was supposed to be a student in our school and a top Smart Scholar. So the first award is going to Hannah Tavares. I'm going to read the award while Hannah's making her way up because she's kind of in the back. So this award commends the student for their dedication to the Smart Scholars program and their hard work at Bard High School, Early College, Manhattan. Sorry guys, I've been here since 7:30, long day. Okay, second award is called the Smart Scholars Growth Mindset Award. So those who were here with me in Summer Scholars during 2022, you guys remember the Blossom Award during Summer Scholars? So we do an award ceremony similar to this when we finish Summer Scholars. And the student who receives the Blossom Award is a student who came in to Summer Scholars, wasn't really feeling it. They weren't really having a good time. You can kind of tell. They would drag their feet coming in the morning, would rush out the door at the end of the day. By the end of those 16 days, they were big old smile, didn't want to leave, really grew into the community and grew into what being a BHSEC student meant in Summer Scholars. This is the translation of that. So take those 16 days and expand them into 4 years. This is a student who really grew, really understood what it meant to be a BHSEC student and dedicated themselves to growing not only academically, but personally, growing into a community that at one point felt foreign, felt kind of lonely, but they opened up and really gave themselves to the program completely. And this award is going to Ifeola Oyanili. I'm going to read Ifeola also goes by Ify, so I'm going to read Ify's award as well. This Smart Scholar is recognized for extraordinary personal growth in this Smart Scholars program and larger BHSEC community. Congratulations. Okay, I'll be back. I'll see you guys later.
Yes, Jasmine has been here since 7:30. I want to thank briefly all the people who helped put this together today, so let's give them a round of applause. It is an extraordinary undertaking to transform this space, and what they've done is really worth appreciating, especially getting the air conditioning working as well as it can. We're now moving on to the Community Service Award, which will be presented by Jess Aaron.
Hello everyone, I'm the Student Activities Coordinator here, and it is my honor to be presenting the Community Service Award today. The award is going to one of the very first students I actually met here at BHSEC when I started last summer. I remember she came into my office with a few other people, and immediately I felt welcome. She had this huge smile on her face. She greeted me as she does every single time she sees me around the building, and she just made me feel like I was coming into a family, a home, a place that people were meant to feel welcome. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this student's achievements and why they are so deserving of this award. This student is such a pillar of support inside BHSEC for so many of our students on campus, but especially those our young Black Smart Scholars in the Big Civs mentorship program. This student has been a member of the STEP team since freshman year. She kept the STEP team alive as a co-captain and worked overtime to make sure Black History Month and our Culture Day traditions were kept alive at BHSEC as well. She's a strong member of the journalism world outside of BHSEC, having written articles for NYU Spectrum, NYABJ The Pulse, produced a podcast on Spotify with the Bell Summer Youth Podcasting Academy that works to uplift Black voices and issues that are prevalent in our community, and has just been so outspoken for her fellow students and for her community at large. Her additions and dedication to serving our community and genuinely giving back, always with the brightest smile on her face, made her an invaluable member of BHSEC. And I'm so excited to present the Community Service Award to Kelsey Bowen.
Okay, we are moving through the lineup, and we are now moving on to another important award to be presented by Jasmine Coombs. This will be her third, if you're keeping track.
Hello again, thank you. Okay, so this award is called the New York State Attorney General's Triple C Award. Sorry. This award commends the outstanding achievements that this student has made. It also kind of gives some applause to overcoming and being perseverant through the last 4 years of high school. The recipient of this award is a student that I've had the privilege of working with since 9th grade. It's a student who really comes into the building and knows how to knock everything off her shoulder and be present. Be here for her people, her family, and BHSEC. Be present in class, ask questions, be inquisitive, which is really the basis of being a BHSEC student. Always with a smile, sometimes with a little dance move, often into a 4. And a student who I'm so proud of, a student who I think really, really, really deserves this award. So this award is going to Jocelyn Fafa Tayson. This award is signed by Attorney General Letitia James, and it reads, "In recognition of your courage, which will assist you in meeting the challenges ahead, your remarkable commitment to bettering yourself, your school, and your community, which makes you a role model to others, and your strength of character, which has always helped you achieve your goals and will guide you in making the right decision in the future." Congratulations, Papa.
Yeah,
Okay, we now have another repeat presenter coming up for one of the really significant awards we give here, which is voted upon by entire faculty. It is the Faculty Award, and it'll be presented by Professor Novak.
Hello again. So the Faculty Award is given upon the recommendation of the faculty. This student is recognized for having fulfilled the mission of Bard High School Early College by demonstrating exceptional motivation and having met the rigorous intellectual challenges of the early college with enthusiasm and good spirit. The student receiving this year's Faculty Award is described by her professors in superlatives in terms of her intellectual curiosity and rigor. Off the top of my head, I was reading through some of her narratives written by other professors, and phrases like incredible work ethic, intellectual superiority, and high intelligence, and willingness to show up all stood out. She was a wonderful presence in my Latin American film class last year. This was actually one of my favorite times to teach this class. Last year, all but 2 of the students have already graduated, so Belinda was one of them. This was another year 1 student. She impressed me with her fluency in Spanish, but also in the world of ideas, and her insightful analyses of the films we watched. In both class discussions and her written work, she showed a keen appreciation of recurring themes in Latin American history. And her written work was amongst the strongest I've seen, beautifully written, and with a level of thoughtfulness that is really rare to see in 16-year-olds. Congratulations and all our best in the next chapter of your life at the University of Pennsylvania on a Quest for Scholarship. Please join me in congratulating Tiffany Nieto Poblano.
We're going a little out of order just to keep things interesting. We now have the Judith Heumann Award of Excellence to be presented by Professor Weber.
Congratulations, graduates. The Academic Resource Center is proud to honor a student with the Judith Heumann Award of Excellence, an award that recognizes those who embody the leadership, passion, spirit, and persistence of Judith Heumann. This year's recipient has gone above and beyond in contributing to our school community in countless ways. From their dedication in supporting our summer school program last year to their consistent advocacy and thoughtful leadership, this student has made a profound impact on their peers and faculty alike. As a mentor and source of support for so many classmates, they demonstrate daily what it means to lift others up and work towards meaningful and lasting change. In addition to these many contributions, their recent inquiry project stands out as a shining example of a commitment to a thoughtful, high-quality work project. Through meticulous research and critical questioning and creative presentation, they not only explored their topic deeply, but also inspired peers to think more broadly and engage in meaningful discussion. The care and rigor they brought to this project reflect the very qualities this award celebrates: perseverance, intellectual curiosity, and a deep commitment to making a difference. This year, the Judith Heumann Award of Excellence goes to Stacy Lee.
closing in, perhaps one more time for the banner to fall and graduated. I'm presenting the last award, so I can get started. Casting your mind back to 9th grade, it began with a week of writing and thinking, and year 2 ended with a semester-long inquiry project paper. In short, writing has been what traced the arc of your whole BHSEC experience. The Don Shea Prize recognizes outstanding writing at BHSEC by honoring 2 graduating students for their sophomore seminar inquiry projects. It is a culminating project in the capstone course at BHSEC. I want to give you a little word about the selection process. Papers are nominated by sophomore seminar professors. Then they are read by a committee of faculty members and staff. It's about 300 pages worth of papers, which we read in a week, twice. So thank you to Ms. Coombs, to Professors Agredo, Curran, Nolan, and Shields for their work in reading these beautiful, dense, difficult, and delightful papers. I read them too. Nominated papers this year explored a lot of interesting topics, from nostalgia and American politics, to the decline of social dance, to the intersection of chess and gender, to Mexican narco corridos. The 2 winning papers for 2025 focused on matters very much of our moment, but also added historical context to enrich our understanding of these matters. The first is titled Gender Affirming Medical Care for Trans Youth. I'm only at the colon. A public health crisis in contemporary America. And the second, which I think we heard a little before, is titled Using the Kendrick Lamar-Drake Beef as a Lens on the Rise of Anti-Intellectualism and Conservatism in the United States. The winners then of the 2025 Don Shea Prizes are Heather Mooney, Project Advisor Ursula Mbola, and Mia Torres. Project Advisor Ursula Mbola. Heather, Mia, and Professor Mbola, could you all come on up here for a group picture and for the awards? All right, my work here is finished and the banner is still hanging, so let's get moving.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks, and congratulations to all of our award recipients. Let's give it up for them again. We're about to invite the good Dr. Adiadat Ilbudo up to read the names, but I just wanted to make one comment. I was hearing a lot of music as I sat and listened to these awards. We heard Professor Guerra talk about reggaetoneras, and we heard specifically you, Alana, talking about women. Do we have any Beyonce fans in the house? Who runs the world? Again, who runs the world? Right, girls. All right, Dr. Ilbudo.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to the graduates. I'm really excited to call you up to the stage today. I have already apologized to the students in advance. I have rehearsed. I have proof. So, if I make it, if I don't make it, I'm sorry. All right, I'm ready. Daniel Alderson. Tasnim Ali. Eva Altstein. Leon Amaral. Chelsea Opaku. Naya Augustine. Magnus Backbeer. Sekou Bari. Ivy Bloomfield. Kelsey Bowen. Thomas Bray Vargas. Megan Elena Brito. Madison Bruno. Pablo Benz. Evan Bowie. Daniel Cabrera. Anaya Cameron. Alexander Caputo. Liz Noelia Cedena. Tessa Cesare. Sophia Hazel Chang. Daniel Chu.
I see you, IT.
Anika Chowdhury. Jada Crockwell. Flor Cruz. Abigail Quanalo Contreras. Tyrone Dalton. Janice Dankwa. Amaya Durant. Musab El Maragi. Catalina Espinoza. Evan Estrella. Kaylin Flores. Belinda Flores Ponce. Darienne Futzino. Nathan Foster. Daniel Goldgisser. Salvador Gonzalez Cantoran. Zaire Griffith. Meg Robin Gieser. Isabel Laguera. Melissa Ajare. Isaiah Hay Thomas. Kaylee Khan. Annie Huang. Antara Islam. Evelina Ivanova. Sarah Klapiha. Clementine Klein. Isabel Kogan. Rachel Chrisberg. Matt Curtin. Tiffany Lamb. Antoine Laurent. Stacy Lee. Sierra Lynn. Esther Lynn. Daniel Lopez. Jana Lord. Zender Magallanes Perez. Sophia Mark. Nathan Martinez. Logan Masucci. Aiden McCarthy. Dalia McFarlane. Nave McNamee. Ivana Mena. Edva Mendez. Alana Mercedes. Adam Mitchell. Isabella Montes de Oca. Heather Mooney. Israel Morales. Prissy Moran Lopez. Shazid Moreno Lopez. Elsa Moruni. Kyle Moser Anderson. Oliver Nader. Louis Nathan. Ayana Nayel Nelson. Melina Nesbitt.
That's my daughter.
Tiffany Nieto. Jaylene Noel. Natalie Alexandra Ogando. Daniel Opon. Ifeoluwa Oyanyu. Thea Parsons. Samang Pakumpe. Farhana Kareem. Lucy Quigley. Ella Prince Rodriguez. Una Rosberg. Trinity Salmon. Alex Sanchez. Adil Sawadogo. Alison Sito. Aiden Moshe Shamadon. Nesma Shakes. Aurelia Joy Sickles. Sahir Subi. Vicky San. Rachel Tapi. Hannah Tavares. Jocelyn Taysen. Deasia Thompson. Mia Torres. Lola Yulinger. Destiny Omeoza. Braden Wan. Jeremiah Welch. Ryder White. Kayla Williams. Derek Wu. Amberly Young. Emma Z. Julian Zimmerman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bard High School Early College Manhattan Class of 2025. Graduates, please rise. At this moment, you're going to take your tassel. You're going to move it from the right to the left. By the authority vested in me by the New York City Public Schools in the state of New York, I hereby confer upon you the high school diploma with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations. You may be seated. All right, I got a question for Mia. Mia, where are you? So who was it? Drake or Kendrick? Obviously Kendrick. So one of the great compliments I've consistently received from students across my career is that I am corny. So, we're gonna do something corny. Are you with me? Are all of you with me? Okay, you ready? Trying to strike a chord, but it's probably a minor. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Great. Congratulations. All right, I have a brief closing remark, but first some instructions. At the conclusion of the ceremony, the faculty will process out, followed by graduates. Up until this point, we are in tight quarters. We ask that families please remain seated. Families, when it's time for you to get up and leave, we ask that you proceed to the main entrance, you descend the staircase, and you meet your graduate outside of the building. If you need to use the bathroom, you can go right or left for the bathroom and then come back out and exit through the main door, okay? Got it. Graduates, as you leave here today, you have accomplished a major milestone that in one sense, Jaylene, sorry, I'm going to contradict very slightly something you said, that in one sense marks the beginning of your adult lives. Now, you have been engaging in adult work and been trusted like adults, as Jaylene told us, for many years. But after today, you have high school diplomas. You will be going away, many of you, to college. And this marks a major milestone that you should all be proud of. And so I have just a very few things that I'd like to leave you with. As you move forward, be bold in everything that you do. Be uncompromising in your beliefs and in your values. Defend your truth, your way of knowing and living and loving and finding joy. Vote. Vote. The only way forward in these unforeseen and hostile times is to show up to the polls and vote. There is an election tomorrow. So if you're gonna hang out with the friends tonight, polls close at 9 p.m. Graduates. Vote. Our ancestors, particularly women, racially marginalized Americans, distinctly Black Americans, and the poor, have fought for the right to vote, and it is your duty to carry that forward. Vote. Find love. Cultivate meaningful relationships. Claim all the joy that life has to offer you, and be unafraid. I want to end with the words of another radical feminist poet, Audre Lorde, who once said, that's right, Audre Lorde, yes, I am deliberate and afraid of nothing. Deliberate and afraid of nothing. And that is my charge to you. Be deliberate and fear nothing. Congratulations to the class of 2025. DJ, play that song. Faculty and graduates, please rise.
My mama calls, see you on TV, sunset done changed. Ever since we was on, I dreamed it all. Ever since I was young, they said I would be nothing. Now they always say